Hello everyone, and welcome back to week 2 of the Duct Tape podcast. So, we're back, it's week 2, it's already been a week.
Hello. Well.
So, I mean, as of now, we're about 5 hours late for our upload schedule, and we're only recording it now, so that's great.
Whose fault is that?
Yours!
It's a collective.
Look, it's Adam's fault.
Judgment.
Adam doesn't have internet like you would imagine people with internet have internet. Adam
That's
has to
fact.
pay for his internet, hence using his mobile data on his Xbox, because he lives in real culture land out in the middle of nowhere.
I live in a forest. Actually.
Basically.
He lives down the road from me, and I have fiber.
Yeah, Chris somehow managed to get fiber optic internet, and Adam is here straddling along with about 2 megabytes a second on his mobile data, and it's just brilliant. But anyway, the sum of the story is that Adam ran out of mobile data come when we were supposed to actually record it to be on time, and yeah, so he basically you had to beg your dad to get mobile data.
I got my mum to tell my dad to get me mobile data, and that was the scenario really. But
That was sad to see.
then we kind of forgot. Really, let's be honest, because we went and we played Minecraft, and we kind of forgot to do the Oki. I mean, and that's Stephen's fault really, because Stephen, you're the one who's what's the word? Who has your hands on the wheel? You're Jesus, and you've taken the wheel.
That's not
here.
very fair to say about your Lord and Savior.
Well, I just said it, and there's no backsies. So,
Speaking of religion,
here we go.
Stephen, would you like to take it away?
Oh well, actually, I'd like to say something. I'd just like to make it clear to the viewers before I go into anything about anything. Is the podcast looks a little bit fucked at the moment because I reset my computer there like a few days ago, and the font I had for doing the everything in is gone, so I had to like take a screen grab of the banner and just stick it in there, and it all looks a bit gay, but yeah.
Oh, hang on now. It's 2019.
Oh, sorry. It
What
looks
do
a
you
bit
mean?
homosexual.
It looks a bit gay. Hang on now.
Looks like a faggot.
What you're supposed to say is it looks very non-binary. That's what you're supposed to say in this situation.
Non-binary.
I think we're just supposed
picture.
to say it looks a bit weird from the one that was there before. Right.
From a Christian standpoint,
Lads,
looks
before
weird.
we-
All right.
Yeah, exactly. From a Christian standpoint, it looks pretty gay.
Oh,
All right. Disclaimer: the topics that have been discussed on
The
this show
topics that are
of,
being
are of
discussed.
an adult nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Now South Park intro plays.
yeah.
No, cops.
It's like fucking. It's like Netflix intended for mature audiences only, and it's like fucking minuscule writing in the top right.
Yeah, and then it's 13 Reasons Why. It's just someone killing themselves.
Oh my god! I knew he was going to do that. His dad owned a chicken factory, and the chickens die all the time.
Oh, we're
So,
agricultural science there. See, I have to say agricultural science.
Oh
But,
yeah,
you do.
agricultural.
Our teacher was showing us, how chicken fillets are made, like chicken fillet.
Oh yeah,
the breaded chicken fillet you get in
Yeah.
Italy or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God, that is.
I know.
Even though
They-
I've
they
seen
rip it out of
already,
their
but
arseholes.
it just like, showed me it again. It's
Yeah.
basically the dirty parts of a chicken that you should never eat
Yeah.
are all blended up into the one thing, and are
Yum.
mushed and breaded and ate.
I mean, I'm still going to eat
I've-
chicken fillets or whatever the fuck it was.
I never eat chicken fillets anymore.
What? Is
That's a
wrong?
lie.
What?
No, I actually haven't. Steve,
I've seen it.
like,
I've seen it twice now, and I still eat chicken fillets.
like I know for a fact, like, because I have chickens, and I know what comes out of their fucking arse, and you're
I don't
eating it.
care.
It's
You know what comes out of their
Look,
arse, Chris?
people have been eating chicken since time began, and people have been eating those kind of chicken. People have been eating that kind of chicken for the last 25 years, and millions of them have been eating it, and I don't see anyone dying
Chris,
because they ate a chicken nugget.
It's not that there's a problem with it. It's just knowing firsthand on what, like, where it comes from is rotten. But they're like the commercial chicken fillets. They're like not real chicken fillets. Like, the ones you get in your butcher are like real chicken fillets, and they're actually,
you sound like my fucking granny. Shut up.
Well, I'm sorry, but like it's
true.
They're the real chicken fillets.
No, but he has a, like, you know.
I get what you're saying, but it doesn't make a difference to me.
No, but Chris.
Yeah.
Do you know what comes out of a chicken's arse? Do you want me to tell you what comes out of a chicken's arse?
What comes out?
Eggs. Eggs come out of a chicken's arse.
That's not true.
That's where the eggs come from.
It doesn't come out of their arse.
All you really eat is eggs. It's all you're eating is eggs. That's all you're eating.
Do you eat the shell of the egg?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it goes in there sometimes.
Shell's good for you.
No. Anyway, okay, we're going to move off chicken arses.
Okay. Why were we? I thought we were going to talk about stuff that wasn't for Christian. Yeah. Why did you even bring that up?
I know. Anyway,
okay, so right, so look, we were at a BT Young Scientist and Technology exhibition.
I think before we say this, it needs to be said that, like, this man was not right in the head.
Well, look, we'll get into that. We don't need to. Chris, you're hyping it up too much. Jesus, calm down. Calm down.
He's explaining where they were. You need to explain where you were before you say talk about your man.
Right. Okay.
I've heard this story, by the way. This is my first time hearing this.
Yeah. So
and I'm interested.
Here's what happened, right? No, but you're overly interested now because Christopher has been hyping this story up for the last hour and a half, and it's kind of ridiculous at this point.
We've been trying to get this. It's always a struggle starting off the podcast because there's some kind of problem. And while we were waiting, we were talking about what we were going to talk about, and Christopher started hyping up this story. And now I'm really interested to hear it. And Steven's saying I shouldn't be interested.
Yeah, it's not. No, look, right, you should be interested, but not as interested as Chris is making it out. He's putting fucking disclaimers before it and everything. It's not that bad. So, it's mad.
Some people will be offended by it, though.
How? They're
will.
Yeah, probably him.
Go on.
But okay, right. So we were at BT Young Scientist. That's basically it's a big exhibition for young people who make things with their hands by themselves, and they bring it up to Dublin to the RDS, and they put it on a stand, and they're like, "Hey, look at mine." And then some judges come around and they're like, "Yours is pretty good." And then if you're good enough, then you go up on a stage and you get some money and a trophy.
Can we make one thing clear?
Yeah.
Christopher and Stephen were there. I was not. I just thought I'd make that clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
anyway, continue.
We were there, and there was this group beside us, and the name of their project was "How to Stop Sexual Offenses with Technology." So they had this thing up on like a board behind them, and it was like all these stats of like women getting sexually assaulted. And they had this little, well, it wasn't little. It was like 5 by 3 centimeters, and there was like a silver thing in the middle. And when you press down on the silver thing, it makes a buzzing noise. And the idea was that you put this fucking huge device under your bra, and if someone puts their hand on the bra, it just buzzes.
Yeah.
And it was It was just so stupid.
It was never going to work.
Yeah, not to mention those two people were out of their mind. They were crazy. But look, that's for another time. There's a whole other story behind that. But anyway, I suppose it was like the third day or fourth day.
Day 3.
Yeah, day 3. There was this man, and I swear, if you've ever seen Herbert the Pervert from Family Guy, he was the spitting. He was so skinny and lanky, and his posture was like the shape of a fucking banana, and his head was just sticking out. And he was there, and he was wearing this big long fucking waistcoat, and he was trench coat, sorry, and he was standing there, and he was talking to them. I couldn't really hear what he was saying, and I was trying not to make eye contact with him, but he was talking to them anyway. And actually, before I say anything, there was a woman there talking to them from the patent's office because they wanted to get their idea patented. And this man came up and started talking to them about like pedophilia and all that kind of stuff, and it was a bit weird.
It was unfair that they were like, they were only focusing on women's sexual assaults, and that men, like, he was kind of defending men basically. And
yeah, he had a good point. That was fine. He had a good point. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, this woman from the patent's office was like, "Excuse me, this is not a conversation for kids and all that kind of stuff." And it kind of turned into a little bit of a skerfuffle, and they exchanged words, views, yeah. And he moved on, and he was walking past us, and he kind of gave a glance in our direction, and like out of just trying to break the awkwardness, Chris just goes hi, and he was gone. He was kind of gone past us, and he just stopped, and his one foot was kind of in front of us, and the other foot was gone past us, and he just slid his foot back, and then looked at both of us, and we were just like staring at him, and then he just goes, "Did you hear that woman?" And I was like, "Yeah," and then he goes, "They're trying to. She's trying to tell me what I'm saying isn't right, but I think it's very important." I'm like, yeah, that's all right. And then he was like, "Yeah, I studied pedophilia or something like that, and down in like Wexford," and he went on to say like something about moral rights, and I was just kind of like, yeah, and so basically
not having a clue.
Yeah, Chris was like zoned. I could tell Chris was basically, if you ever seen The Simpsons, the fucking monkey is sitting in his brain just smashing fucking pots and pans and everything. Yeah, just staring at this lad. But anyway, he goes on, he's just like, so you have these like 7 souls or 7 energies inside you, and
oh gosh,
these 7 energies are like what you have to abide by, and if you don't abide by these energies and stuff, you're not going to go right in life. Yeah. So like, it basically the 10 Commandments, but there's only 7 of them, and he was here quoting like things from the Bible. So
and he was talking about how like people from the Bible, like I think it was Moses or one of them. There was 2 lads, and they were basically the same person or something like that. Like it was weird.
Yeah, but anyway, he said something about your brain. So he said your brain is in the shape of a triangle, and only people's brains are in the shape of a triangle. So like a dog's brain isn't in like, nobody thinks like people do, and God communicates to you through your triangle brain.
No, it was a bone that was your soul or something that talked to your brain, or it was something really weird. I know there was.
I remember him saying like there was rays come down to your triangle brain, and anyway, he was saying like, so he was saying if you do something wrong, your like souls or spirits or moral rights go off balance. So you have 7, right? So you have a certain amount on the left and a certain amount on the right. And if you do something wrong with one of the ones that say on the right, your right hand will start to shake. Or if you do something wrong with the one that your left hand will start to shake. And the only way you can correct this is by doing something good. So he was talking away, and I was going, yeah. And he said...
Now, bear in mind, this went on for about a half an hour or more.
Yeah.
It does sound like it would have been dragging out.
Yeah, he kept on. He was quoting like some authors of books and stuff like that, like someone Douglas or something like that. And so anyway, he says to me about this shaking hand thing, and I said, so while I have you on that, do you think people with Parkinson's disease have done something really bad in their life and that makes their hand shake? And he was kind of stumped by the question. He was like, that's very complicated now.
That's a whole now different kettle of fish, and I won't be getting into that now now.
But then he went on to try to get into it. But while he was saying
this was going on,
he was
he was talking to Stephen. around the around the exhibition, basically, there's people wearing, like, they're in red coats, BT coats, and they're officials, basically, and they're just there, you know, to make sure everything is going smooth or whatever.
Yeah.
While Stephen was talking, you know, and he started talking about the Parkinson's thing, just as that happened, one of these red lads come up, and he came up behind me, and he was like, "Well, are you all right, lads?"
There was two of them there.
And I was kind of like, "Yeah, it's grand." Like, he was like, "Is this lad annoying you?" And I was kind of like he could hear me, so I was like, no, not really. Now he's just trying to explain something, or I don't really know what he's talking about. Like, I wasn't going to be like, no, like, tell him to fuck off or whatever, because he was literally right beside me.
Yeah.
Now, we weren't like getting tick at him. Like, he was. I don't know. He had a genuine point he was talking about. He was just a weird man. And he was like, "Oh, right." And your man just he tried to make conversation with me, the lad in the red jacket, you know, like, asked me about the project, whatever. He was like, "That's grand." And while he was talking to Stephen, then, I joined kind of back into their conversation, and your man, the red jacket, kind of walked over to the other side of the weird lad and was kind of just listening into what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so your man kind of finished his conversation, or, you know, he was kind of taking a break on what he was saying.
Yeah.
And he notices your man in the red jacket behind him. And he goes, "Oh," like, you know, he kind of turns to him, like, kind of turns sideways, you know, kind of just like, "Oh, well, how are you?" or whatever. And the red man goes, "Oh, I'm not too bad. I was just standing here listening to what you were saying." And the weird lad, he goes, "You were not, were you?" Like really, like, oh, I fucked up moment.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I was." Now, that's not very appropriate talking about. I think you'll have to come with me now.
Oh.
He was like, "What?" And he was kind of like, "Yeah, no, come on now, come out here," and all this. Like, come on. But there was two lads. The other lad now was this kind of a small lad, and he was still chatting me.
Yeah.
While this was kind of going on to kind of, you know, deflect us away from what was going on with him.
Yeah.
So they brought him off, like, basically moved him on, told him to, you know, fuck off, like.
Yeah.
And then they kind of went off, and we didn't really see anything. Me and Stephen turned to each other. What the fuck was that? You know? And the people beside us then, their teacher, there was two of them, like, actually taking part, and their teacher was there. And she just kind of looks over us. She was like, "I reported him for you."
Oh.
Like, "Oh, grand." Like, you know, because they were obviously hassling them as well before that. So then, anyway, 5 minutes passed or whatever, and one of the lads in the red jacket comes back, and he says to me, he goes, "Jez, you know, there's always weirdos, and, you know, we're here. This is our job, like, you know, to make sure you're been all right, not been hassled." And we were like, "Oh yeah, grand." And he was like, "We're after moving him on. We have a lad follow him now just to make sure he's, you know, behaving, basically."
Right.
And we were just like, "Oh, grand, thanks for that," or whatever. He was like, "No bother, but, like, if anything happens like this again, just nod over at me and we'll come over and help you. Like, you know, don't be stuck around." And we were like, "Yes, that's grand." But I thought that was the weirdest thing that ever happened to me in a while.
You could see them. You could see them there as well. He was standing kind of around the edge of the stalls and stuff, and two of them were there, and they were just scolding him basically for going around and, like, filling people's minds with absolute dog.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just to make everyone clear, make it clear to everyone even that I'm quite an atheist person. I don't listen. I'm open to the idea of religion, but I don't believe in anything at all. I see why people believe in it, but I'm not into any of it at all whatsoever.
I may as well state that as well. Like, I'm completely fine with people being religious, believe in what they want to believe in if it brings peace or whatever to them, but I'm atheist myself as well. And okay, so this is my first time hearing this, okay? And it seems okay, he was definitely not right in the head, or he's whatever he's after studying has driven him to lose. So he's definitely gone a bit off the rails. I can definitely say that.
He's the kind of guy that, you know, they're out there, but you never think you're going to meet them. It's like a flat earther and all that kind of stuff that are really, he kind of just went into a rabbit hole. He seems like he went into a rabbit hole on the internet and just thought he has this knowledge that no one else knows of, and he thinks he's on a higher playing field than everyone else. Like these people who do a lot of research into stuff like that, they think they have like this some unwritten, unknown about knowledge that puts them on a higher perspective on life than everyone else.
The way he was explaining it was like he was trying to it was like a cult kind of a thing.
Yeah, it was like he was trying to like bring us in for like Scientology or something like that, like trying to convince us it was the way to go.
Some sort of Scientology, because it was all science he was talking about. All the, bones in your body that are connected to your soul, and your brain is in a triangle, and rays of light sent down from.
And he was saying everything at BT to do with biology was all pseudoscience, and what he was telling us was the right stuff.
That's the thing. It sounded, the way you described it sounded a bit like kind of like a cult vibe. That's what I got from it. But with that being said, I don't know what way he was describing it. Maybe he was talking in a really creepy way, but I mean, the stuff he was saying, it's not like it was harmless enough. Like it wasn't like he was, when he started saying that these lads said what he was saying wasn't appropriate. I don't really know about that. Like, is he not just technically exercising?
When he was talking to the people beside us, he wasn't saying it. He was arguing it.
Right.
He was arguing with them, telling them like, you're wrong.
It was a healthy argument. He wasn't like he wasn't. Look, Chris, I see where you're coming from, but I'm defending the man now in saying that maybe he was there to preach against everyone, but what Adam was going to say there a minute ago is he's exercising his right to express his own opinion. And all that. But still,
when your man the Red Jack come up to me and was like, "Is he annoying you?" Yeah, he was annoying me, but like, he wasn't annoying me enough that
he wasn't harassing
to get taken away. No, yeah, exactly. He wasn't really harassing. Like, I understood, when he was talking to us, I was kind of yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. He wasn't up in your face being like, now this is it, lads. You're crazy to think whatever, He was just
the information.
He just said a bit too long.
If someone was to read into what he was telling us and acknowledge what he was saying and think that it was actually true, it would be absolutely no harm either, because he basically, what he was telling us was, it was the same idea as the Ten Commandments, but more of the whole religion he was talking about was based about these 7 morals that you have to have, and it was like being nice to people and all that kind of stuff. So even if you were to believe in it, it's not unbelievably harmful. But it was just the way he talked about it was like he was absolutely convinced that he was controlled and being owned by these gods.
Which I can definitely agree is something that he definitely. I'm not saying he's right to believe that, or like that he sounds sane or whatever. Like, he definitely sounds a bit off the plot or whatever. But I think it's taking things a bit too far to report him and have a lad follow him around all day just because he's telling people what he believes in. You know what I mean? Like, to say that he's been followed now by security for that entire rest of the day, and that he got reported by that school just for saying that he believes in this religion, doesn't seem all that fair. And I mean, I know
he wasn't a creep. He just seemed misled.
But the people beside us, he never mentioned religion once. It was all a part of it. What he was talking about was pedophilia with them.
And that's what their project is.
Yeah.
So how do they expect?
He jumped topic completely when he started talking to us. He was like, "Oh, did you hear what I was talking about with them?" But I'm going to tell you about our religion. He led from pedophilia into the morals. That's how he started. There was a connection. He didn't just fucking jump the gun and then just start talking about what he was talking about. That wrong, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but like now that's also unfair that woman reported him for talking about, because if their project is about sexual harassment, then what do they expect? If somebody you have to be brutal with stuff like that, because you can't come up and then be all like, well, we're sensitive about that. You're talking to kids about this. So what are you supposed to say? And then you're just getting that get out of jail free card, so that every time somebody has an argument with you about your project, that you can just be like, well, we're kids and you're an old man and you're just talking to us about this, that, and that. So that's kind of unfair that they did that in the first place.
I wasn't like pissed with him. Like, fair enough. Like, fair enough. He had his, he talked about his pedophilia, which, to be honest, what he was talking about, I kind of agreed with. The fact that women are all, men rape women, men rape women, men rape women.
Yeah.
But to talk about any time women rape men, no.
Okay. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not like that.
It's not like women are raping men. It's the men are getting raped by other men. Really, Chris. Like, it's not like a ballet dancer is raping a security guard or whatever. You know what I mean?
Fucking
like,
a ballet dancer comes in, fucking rapes a biker gang, a whole biker gang. Just ties them all up and just dances on their dick or something.
No, it's like no, but well, Christopher just what he's trying to say is it's not just all okay. That was just the project itself it's only benefiting women basically, and that's not entirely fair, and that's fine.
I think what he was arguing about now, Stephen, I could be wrong on this. He was arguing about what was written on their poster. And now I personally didn't read their poster.
What was written?
So I don't know what was on the poster, but he seemed to be more tick at what they had on their poster than what they were saying, I think.
And so on their poster it says that 96% of sexual offences were committed by men, and then 4% were committed by 4% were committed by females, and then there was some other stuff up there as well, but that's what I remember anyways off the top of my head.
See, I think he was getting ticket because it was all just statistics.
Yeah.
Numbers, and he was kind of getting tick.
Well, the thing is...
And then he tried to, that you can't be, whatever. But
that's
then
the thing.
you're one from the patent office.
Yeah.
Now, she could have been a bit of a, a woman.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
No, I couldn't say feminist, but that could be a bit strong. But
I think there's no harm in using the word. I think this is a whole other conversation, but I think the term feminist is absolutely been radicalized at the moment. But
it has been completely, but we won't get into that right now because we'll be here all day.
Yeah,
and
But that's where I'm going with that, and that's what he got tick with, and she kind of was like, "Oh, you're a man,"
exactly.
Fuck would you know? Fuck off.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
What kind of was annoying me and Stephen then was when he came over and he just kept talking, and we'd be like, "Oh, he's finished now." But wait, I want to talk to you about this, and that's kind of what we were kind of. Well, I was anyway. I was kind of just like,
Yeah. Like he doesn't need to tell you about this. But with that being said, I still don't think he should have been followed around all day. I still don't care.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but. Yeah, but I still don't think he should have been followed around all day and been reported just for saying what religious beliefs he has.
Well,
and also
I think
can see why.
You see, what happened was he came to a science and technology event, with no interest in looking at projects, but just talk about religion, and that's what they were kind of gaming at.
But he did try and talk about projects. He said he studied pedophilia and that he tried to talk to these.
He never mentioned our project once, though.
Yeah,
I know, but he said, but you're the one who started the conversation with him. You said hi to him, but you can see where he's coming from. Then
I can't exactly. But
and so
he take 45 minutes to fucking explain.
I know, but then you know yourself. If he wasn't all there, then maybe he thought he saw it from a different point of view.
He saw it as an invite.
Yeah, and so these girls over here, he actually did come and try and talk to them about their project, and then he got in trouble for it. So what could he do? You know what I mean? Like and I can see where he's coming from the statistics, because those statistics are making it look like that women are all getting raped by men, but 94% of men may commit those crimes, but it doesn't mean that they're all on women. You know what I mean? There are men out there who are getting sexually assaulted as well. Like that's what he was trying to say, and that a bra isn't gonna, and it, regardless if you're a man or a woman, it's not, that project is never gonna work anyway. So that's just like, it was a waste of time, and he just got angry at them for that. So I feel kind of sorry for the lad, to be honest.
Well, look,
but all right. Unpopular, statement, but there's a time and a place for that. And in my opinion, it wasn't on day 3 of the BT Young Scientist Technologies exhibition in Dublin. No, that's my view on it.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
And to 14 and 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds.
Yeah, but he wasn't trying to preach it and be like, he didn't run around with a sign screaming, "You should all believe my religion." He thought he was having a conversation with 2 lads, or whatever. Or did he? I guess because he thought at the end when he said that he thought he got in trouble. Maybe he was. He was. It was just the fact that he was really weird about. He definitely overstayed. He definitely overstayed his welcome, and he was definitely, if he was weird about it, yeah. But he technically, it's like one perspective. He technically has the right to be there and say that. But then again, he did kind of get, or at least it sounds like he got a bit creepy and maybe was trying to invite you a bit too much into this, which is why he stayed for so long and talked about it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Okay, so going on the law side of what he's doing, as far as the RDS, to my not so educated knowledge on the grounds, I'm pretty sure when BT Young Scientists is there, they have full reign over who can and can't be in there. So if the Redcoats deem it as a thing where they don't want a man like that going around preaching to kids on what he believes, I'm pretty sure they have all the right in the world to kick him out, even if he's not infringing on anyone else's rights.
But they never.
They
never kicked him out. They only. They only moved him on, and they just followed him around.
I know, but still, they're following him around. Like, imagine if you got followed around the entire day because you said something to somebody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's okay. What it sounds like to me is from ways.
No, but you see, I don't think they followed him around for a bit, and he came back and he said he seems to be behaving himself now. That's the exact words he said to me.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So whether they stopped following him around after that, I don't know.
I didn't see him for the rest of the day. It seemed like what I thought is he just pretty much left after that.
No, I think what happened was he kept walking around. They followed him for a bit, and then just realized that he's copped himself on a bit and stopped. Basically.
The thing is about him is maybe because when you said that when your man said to him, "I was listening to your conversation," and he was like, worryingly said, "Oh, were you?" He was as if to say, "Is like he's been caught." And that's what you said. You said it was as if he knew he'd been caught for something. And like, I think at that point he was really trying to rope you into this and thinking like, actually, and he knew, he was aware of the fact if he knew he was in trouble for when your man was listening, then he was aware of what he was doing when he was trying to rope you into this weird religion, So it's like he knew he was in trouble. So at that, I can defend the lads for being like, all right, we need to get rid of this lad. So he definitely overstayed his welcome. But him just talking about his religion is fine. But to do it for 45 minutes, I can understand why you take him away. But I still think they overreacted a tiny bit. I don't know.
What's that noise? Is that Chris?
My mic just came out a little bit.
All right.
It's fine. It's gone again. Don't worry.
All right now. Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry. Okay.
So yeah, that was the experience.
Yeah, and look, that lad's probably living life, I'm sure he is.
Outside Dublin.
Outside the RDS. But he's that's an interesting one now. That one's a bit weird.
That
That
it
one, I
is,
would-
it
I-
is, yeah.
I'm surprised how. Actually, no, I'm not surprised. I was going to say I'm surprised how civil Stephen was, but sure. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would have just been a bit more. I think I would have argued with him a bit more about it rather than just ask him about parking.
See, to be honest,
I wanted to hear what he was going to say, but he never shut the fuck up. And then all of a sudden, he set out the shaking hands, and he didn't really take it. Like, he kind of took a second to gather his thoughts, and I just said to him about Parkinson's. And then at that point, these lads walked up and were like, "Hi, how's it
but
going?"
they
And I knew. Sorry, Chris. I knew
go on.
for a fact that if I was to turn around and start arguing back with him on from an atheist point of view, Chris would have fucking lost his mind, because he was just standing there staring at the two of us for ages. And plus, we were getting an awful lot of footfall onto our stand, and people were interested in stuff. And him standing there for an hour, or not, wasn't an hour, but half an hour, was definitely taken away from interest.
Oh, definitely, so. Yeah. I can definitely agree with that. Like, at the end of the day, you want people coming to your stand, and this lad is here, raving about whatever. So that's just going to draw people away straight away, So, yeah, that definitely needed to be sorted out for that reason as well. But, yeah. And also, I find it kind of funny how he was all doing this and this about his religion, and then the second you brought up the Parkinson's disease, he had no argument, and he just said it was a completely different topic altogether.
That's exactly when he turned around to look, and he saw your man, and you could see in his eyes he shot a fucking brick, so he did.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, how's it going? Like that kind of way, like, fuck. And your man's I was just standing here.
He was standing there. So he turned around and he looked at him, and the red coat just said, "I'm just listening to the conversation." Oh, were you? Yeah.
No,
and then
he was like, "You were not, were you?"
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Kind of way.
Yeah,
that's when I was like,
that's when you're like, well, this lad was
probably what I could.
Yeah,
and like, see, there's an awful lot now. I know, but think of it this way: there's an awful lot we didn't know about what he was talking, and what he could have been talking about could have been an awful lot worse than what we're interpreting to be. And now that's a fucking deep way of thinking about it, but you'd never know what.
There's
and what he told us, and what we don't know about it.
Maybe you should look into but it would be interesting.
I would like to look into it and just see what exactly he was talking about.
If it's completely insane, or if this lad got harshly done by it. But I don't know. See, that's that one part. That whole thing with the red coat changes the whole face of it, because you'd question his intentions. That's
what kind of was weird for me. Like, to me, like at the start, we were kind of like, oh, okay, this sounds a bit weird,
Yeah.
And we let him talk. Like, there was at no point we were kind of like, fuck off. Like, we were like actually kind of interested in what he was saying.
Yeah.
Like, would you agree with me, Stephen? Like, we were like, oh yeah, whatever. And even though we didn't really know what he was talking about, well, I didn't for some of it. Like, we weren't like telling him to fuck off or anything, because we were actually kind of interested in what he was saying. But then it kind of took a turn. Would you agree with me there, Stephen?
Yeah, it
kind of turned a little bit weird, and then
it turned to kind of a thing of, if you don't follow these morals, you're going to be actually physically punished for doing things wrong. Like, you're actually, your body's going to deteriorate, and you're going to turn into an awful person if you don't follow by these 7 souls and rules and all that kind of stuff.
And right then, that's when everyone happened, where your man came in, but yeah. See, I don't know. I only seen one lad. That was that chatting me. But when he went over to talk to the weird lad, another lad come over. Now I don't know what he heard. While the other red coat was talking to me. So he could have heard more than I did, or I don't know. God.
Well, what's going on there?
I don't know.
It's definitely mine, since you can both hear.
Yeah.
What is it? So, I don't know.
So that's my kind of way on it.
Can you still hear that mic thing, or
no? It's grand.
It's
all right. Okay.
Very faint.
Okay. Well, I just know what it is.
So there you go.
They say the people who know a lot of stuff about the things, that the main driving force of people who believe in religion is DMT and psychedelic experiences and stuff like that. And that when Moses wrote the Ten Commandments, he was after smoking.
Yeah, I heard that.
He was after smoking, what was it, the acacia bush, and acacia has DMT in it.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that as well. That's pretty
much anyone who has like a view on a soul or really think they've seen God or anything like that were in a psychedelic state.
I've heard that's a pretty popular theory, and that's why you hear about all these religious, like, you know, like the Pope or whoever or whatever, and you're like, well, the Pope's never going to get high or whatever, and then there's just some random person in some random part of the world who come out and say, I had a vision, I seen the big man in the sky, you know, big man in the red suit, you know, and he and
you're
like
getting confused with Santa there, Adam.
You know, so they and you know, they're obviously out of their head when they're saying that, you know, or not obviously, but like, you know what I mean? It's more than likely that they're high and they're in a psychedelic state, and they that's when they have these visions, you know. That's just how it is. And that's probably what was the story with Moses back in the day, back in the olden days, you know. But,
okay, so I'm here on a website called allatra.org, and we have I looked up, I basically put in keywords like pyramid brain and seven souls and stuff like that, and I got to a YouTube video, and it was showing some stuff. I didn't watch the YouTube video obviously because I'm a podcast. I see here on their website they have here a pyramid scientific experiment project. I'm just going to read through this here.
It'd be interesting to see what their, like, what the actual beliefs are, and see if it's a bit crazy, you know what I mean? Because for all we know, like, he's saying it from one way, and like,
we could be picking up a completely different way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is this weird? Is this like a cult vibe, or is this like just a regular old unpopular, but yet, you know, completely fine way of living life? But I find the hands thing kind of weird, you know, like, what was it? Your right hand will start to shake if you go by the wrong.
Yes, so if your right hand will shake if your right hand side is off balance and your left hand. So let's say you do something bad and it goes against one of your souls. If that soul is on the right hand side, your right hand will shake, or if that soul is on the left hand side, your left hand will shake. Or if you've done something really bad and gone against all of your morals, both your hands will start to shake. That's when
that's when it's weird. That's what I find weird about it, because that's an actual physical thing that they're saying will happen to you, which you don't get in other religions, or you know, like Christianity or whatever, because it's like he's saying that something physically will happen to you if you disobey these codes.
That's like, what I was saying earlier on. Yeah, it's like you have a physical consequence. Your health will actually be impacted by what choices you make. So your hands will start to shake if you've been bad.
It's not like you're going to heaven or hell or whatever if you do something bad. It's like you're physically will have to live through with your left hand shaking until you repair it by doing good things or whatever, which I find is kind of weird. That's the kind of weird aspect from it that I'm getting.
I'm just literally after thinking of this, how he led on to the religion thing, rape thing, or the assault thing.
Yeah.
He was talking about how every decision we make comes from God. And, you know, when people, you know, go near girls or whatever, or men go near girls, it's, you know, what you do is a decision that comes down from the rays down to you into your triangular brain to do this thing or something. Am I right, Stephen?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
something like
He was.
that.
Yeah. So you were basically by these rays of whatever light. Those rays of light go into. If you've ever looked at what is it? I suppose on like a $1 bill, you'll see the triangle, and they have like the rays of light and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So the triangle is elevated from the rest of the pyramid. Rays of light coming down. That is kind of like that.
Right.
But like that, basically what you're saying is, if a man rapes a woman, that thought it's like you think 1,000,000 different things, but the ones that you do are the ones that are going to affect you.
1,000,000.
And that, you know yourself, and the ones that you do are the ones.
No,
like
that's what
that
I said.
are-
That's what I said. I said
Yeah.
because it's a quote from GTA, and he says it like 5 times in the Michael says it the whole time. He says
You think you have a no? You say it because I can't remember.
yeah. So you have like 100,000 thoughts every day. You only remember like 100 of them, and make sure. Or no, you forget.
You only remember one for the. You only
No,
remember
you
one
forget.
For the
No. Because what he says, he says it to the security guard in the prologue, and he's you forget 100,000 things every day. Make sure this is one of them, and then he's like, I don't know, shoot someone or something like.
Yeah. And he says it again at the bank at the heist when they robbed the jewelry store, and then Trevor sees it on the news, and then he's like, "Oh my god, I've just seen a ghost," and then he goes off to Los Santos to find the ghost. Yeah. But yeah. So how's the website looking, Stephen?
I'm seeing a lot of meditation healing pyramid.
Right.
That seems to be very popular, but I don't really know. It doesn't look like it has much. You can buy these pyramids, you, and they're like €1,000. The copper pipes.
Yeah. Well, see, that's automatically a cult vibe, you know. Buy in to, you know, you'll do grand if you just buy your thing that's worth €1,000. But I mean, I'm not sure if that's exactly what he was talking about that you're on about right now, if you know what I mean. You know,
I see something here. The pineal gland, the gateway to expanded consciousness, the Human Brain Series, Part 20s.
It was things like that he was talking about, like weird bones in your body and like glands and all this they'd never heard of that are like part of your that make up.
Oh yeah, he was making up.
Something.
He made up a bone. He made up a bone.
Oh yeah.
It was like, oh, this bone, like on the top of your back,
gathers the rays.
Yeah. It's basically like an antenna. That's the way you put it.
Now, I suppose, lads, when we're saying this, well, I know I can only speak for myself, but from what we know, we don't know that is an actual thing. But if it is, I mean, I'm by no way putting it down or anything. You know, like, believe what you want to believe in or whatever.
Yeah, but
you know, like, we're not like telling you like, Jesus, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, do it.
Yeah. But this we're just looking into. This lad seems to be taking it a bit too seriously. You know what I mean? And then to try and like rope you into it is taking it too far. It's like, it's just he's definitely taking his religion to a level that's unnecessary, and he shouldn't be doing. You know, he shouldn't be going on about this religion for 45 minutes to these two lads that he doesn't know that are 15 years old because he feels like he can rope them into it. Like, you're not supposed to do that. But if you believe in the religion, whatever, you know, you do you. That's it, basically.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. But odd lad. But sure, look.
What can you do?
I mean, there's this. That's a weird one now. I think. How long did we talk about that lad for?
Oh God.
50 minutes.
Is that can't be right. Is it?
Right, we should be taking a break. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a break right now, and we'll be back. Welcome back. Back from the break. The Flesh and Blood. So, during the break, I was doing some more research. I figure this man was either diving so deep into the web that there's no way a normal human being who isn't him can even get that far down to figure that out. Because I just did an awful lot of research into it, and I couldn't find anything to do with anything he was talking about. I searched everything, like triangle brain and communication with God and your 7 souls and morals and shaking hands and everything. I couldn't find. I found some Buddhist triangle healing things that were like €1,000 that you had to buy. But apart from that, I actually could not find anything. So that's pretty much what I've been looking for. But I guess on a little bit of a lighter note, I want to talk about not so long ago, like just a little bit before the podcast, I was watching a video on Jordan Peterson. Like I've watched a good few of his videos before, but I just think
so have I.
I think just the way he's like articulated is like no one else ever before.
Well, how do you mean? Like
just the way, like he when you ask him a question, you know the response is going to be the best response he can come up with, and he takes a minute to think about what he's going to say, and he uses the most perfect words because he has all these words in his vocabulary, like ready to go, that you wouldn't even think of. But he has them there ready to go, and he knows the right situation to use them in. I just think the way that he talks is really good.
He is extremely smart, and what he talks about, he's never going to talk about something. He's never going to, when especially like when people start to talk about something, and they start to argue, and they start to get into something they don't know fully what they're talking about. He's never going to do that.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know fully what he's going to talk about, then he's not going to argue with you about it. So that's why you're never actually going to win an argument with him, because he just knows everything about the topic he's talking about, and he's extremely smart anyway. So he can use all these really smart words and terms and phrasing, and so therefore he ends out just sounding like, perfect in every argument. Like he's never outsmarted.
People fucking hate him though.
I know, because he has them every time.
Yeah, but it's the same with Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, if you fucking say one word to him, manslaughter. It's not even right.
That's a fact.
He just comes out with the most insane statements, and they're all they hit you just like in the blink of an eye, and you're just like, what the fuck?
I can't agree with him. I know Ben Shapiro, he's obviously main focus is his political views and stuff, but I watched his review on Star Wars The Last
movie
Jedi.
Reviews. Yeah, he does movie reviews.
I can't say that I agree with everything he said on that. I think I would win an argument against him in that situation. I'm not gonna lie. So Ben Shapiro,
on a Star Wars
movie
review in particular.
If you're listening, Ben Shapiro, your Star Wars The Last Jedi movie review is just false. It's fake news. It's not epic. Okay, it was not epic, and that's Ben Shapiro is gone. Cue the crab wave. That's all I have to say. So there you go. That's Ben Shapiro in a nutshell.
My personal opinion, I think that Ben Shapiro is light years better than my dog was running around. But,
Okay.
Ben Shapiro is light years better than Steven Crowder.
Yeah, definitely. Steven Crowder, I've seen Steven Crowder lose arguments before, and I've definitely seen. I can agree with a lot of what he says, and I don't agree with everything he says. And when he starts to lose an argument, he starts to really get in your face. And now he doesn't usually do this because he's always winning.
He seems like he seems like he's the kind of guy who'd be a bit of a bully when he was in school.
Yeah,
no, I'm
exactly.
like, just from what I've seen, he gets it. I don't know. He kind of digs in on people.
Because he's really. How tall is he? How tall is he?
6'7", I think. Or 6.
Really?
I think he's really tall.
Is he that tall? I knew he was tall, but I didn't know he was that tall.
Maybe 6. But he's definitely bigger than 6'5".
He's tall and he's built. He's always carrying, and he's trained. What's he trained in? What is it that he's
jiu-jitsu and he does jiu-jitsu. He's trained in martial arts anyway.
Yeah, he can defend himself. You know what I mean? He's a threatening guy, and is he I'm not sure how aware he is of the fact, because he usually doesn't use that to his advantage. But I'm not sure how aware he is of the fact of how scary some people might find him if he's up in their face arguing with them. You know what I mean? When he starts to lose an argument, I'm not sure if he's aware of how threatening he can come across as.
He is a man who openly states every time, and it comes up, that he carries.
Yeah.
And he's much taller than most people, and he knows how to do jiu-jitsu. He openly states and makes sure that everyone knows this.
That and there's no need for him to say that. He just manages to squeeze it in. You know what I mean? He'll keep on going on and on until he can eventually say, and I'm carrying a gun right now, and I can't because it's fucking me, it's Steven Crowder. What are you gonna do about it? And but you know what I mean? And I seen him lose an argument in the Change My Mind, where he started losing an argument against
really?
I think he was against a socialist or something. I don't know. He started to lose the argument on something.
How the fuck do you lose an argument against a socialist?
I don't know. I can't remember if it was. I can't remember if it was or not. It was an Asian anyway. He was Asian. And he started to lose, and he started to sit forward, and he started to really lean into him and start shouting and start actually
really
making fun of him instead of. You should see if you can find it. You should see if you can find it after the podcast. It's kind of cool.
There's one, but there's one. And
it's not like he come. Sorry, it's just it's not like he's completely losing the argument. It's just that he is losing at some points. That's basically it. Yeah. Anyway,
there's one where he's debating someone on rape culture.
Opposites.
The guy that one. Yeah. The guy gets up and screams at him and runs away.
The guy's drunk, as far as I'm concerned. Or he comes across that he's a bit drunk. I think he's a bit drunk. The guy he's arguing with. Are you talking about the guy in
really gay?
You talk about the guy who's saying I have a friend that she was raped, and it's not fair that I can't walk home with my headphones and at night without being raped.
I mean, I think all of them who said that were saying that they have friends. I mean, there was a girl as well, and they had it set up on a footpath.
Yeah.
The girl came, and she was absolutely bawling, crying, and he was saying, "I'm not holding you hostage or anything," and he was saying, "Oh, you're harassing me," and all these different things, and he's saying, well, no, you agreed to come and sit down here, and the cops had to tell her to leave.
that's the thing. Like this, what I'm remembering now is they're saying that there's no rape culture, and he was saying that there is rape culture on the campus, and this is a guy he was arguing against, saying that he thinks it's not fair, that he's saying that he had a friend who got raped, and it wasn't fair that guy that raped her got away with it. But then, you know, Steven Crowder had the obvious argument to say, did she come out and say, you know, that she was raped? And he said, no, she kept it to herself. And like you said,
I remember, remember hearing that.
So how could, if she was never going to accuse him of rape, then what does she expect is going to happen? And then the guy complained that he wasn't able to, or that a girl wasn't able to walk home at night. But he said he can walk home at night with his headphones on to his car from his gym or whatever, and he can be completely fine. And a girl can't do that without worrying that she can get raped. And
that's awful.
No, but then Steven Crowder said, you're an idiot. Why are you walking anywhere with your headphones on? You shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a dumb thing to do. And he called him an
even
idiot.
a guy shouldn't, like, a guy.
Yeah.
Even Steven
Nobody
Crowder, who
that.
carries and knows how to do jiu-jitsu, shouldn't be walking around at nighttime with his headphones on.
With his headphones on, yeah. And he just called him an idiot. And then the guy, like, the guy just complained, and then he threw the microphone away, and he walked away, and he wouldn't shake Steven Crowder's hand. And that's an example of the guy being an idiot, and Steven Crowder kind of got up in his face in there, but that's just because the guy was a fucking retard.
Yeah, but that's what Steven Crowder will do, is he'll be tell you you're a retard. And that's what what makes me think of him as makes me think that he once would have been a bully, kind of a. Like, you're just a fucking like, he just tells it to you how it is. You're a fucking retard. But he doesn't put any padding in between you and his fist.
The thing is, exactly. What Chris is saying there, like,
or not not more necessarily.
Yeah.
Want, but need.
No, but like, yeah, like
people to like. There's just so many people out there who just need a slap with fish across the face and be told you're stupid.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. If I were in Steven's, I'm not a bully in school, but if I were in Steven Crowder's position with dealing with that guy, I would have told him he was a retard. You're a retard to think that that's the case. And I know Steven Crowder does that a bit too often, gets a bit too aggressive, and maybe that comes across as. But I don't think he was so much a bully back in high school or whatever, as more as in he just was aggressive and a bit too honest, a bit like me.
What's the name of the guy? Does the sound Brandon? Is it Brandon? Not gay Brandon? Jordan?
Oh, the guy.
Oh, what the fuck is his name? It's driving up the wall. Not gay. Not gay. Whatever his name is. They were driving along in the car in Detroit, and it was this big long video on how dangerous Detroit is, and not gay Jared. That's his name. And he he throws him out of the car, closes the door, and drives away. And they're in this really sketchy neighborhood, and he runs after the car. And that stuck with me, because I think all the time when I'm watching them is, Jesus Christ, this guy is his bitch. He just is his absolute. Steven Crowder has made everyone in that studio his absolute bitch, and they all lick his hole.
That's true, but sure. What do you expect? Like, he's like, they're the lad. Steven Crowder's paying their bills. You know what I mean? Like, he's the highlight of the show. Of course, everyone's going to be his bitch. You can't stand up to Steven Crowder, because they're all afraid that if they start arguing with Steven Crowder, he's the kind of guy who's just going to kick him out, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's it for them. Where are they going to go then? You know, like
for a cardboard box.
They'll back to the cardboard box outside the RDS with your man who's talking about all the religions, like, you know, like Steven Crowder won't hesitate to take action. You know what I mean? Do you get where I'm coming from with that? Yeah. So when you're dealing with a guy like him, you're almost going to end up being his bitch, because he'll argue all day. That's what he does for a living. You know?
Yeah.
Chris has no idea who Steven Crowder is, by the way, in case you're listening and wonder why Chris has gone a bit quiet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And maybe for everyone else that doesn't know who he is, he might explain.
Steven Crowder is, he has a YouTube channel, and he basically has a controversial.
He's the change my mind guy, basically.
Oh yeah,
That's what
yeah.
he's
Actually,
known as.
That
did you
guy
ever see
who was
that?
sitting out.
Did you ever see that meme?
Yeah, see, even Chris
Chris
knows him
you ever
now.
see the meme? Yeah, did you ever see the meme? The meme, the guy sitting on the chair with the mug, and he's like,
I suck Willie, change my mind.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's that guy who's sitting there. That's Steven Crowder, and he has controversial views on stuff, and he loves to argue with people who will, who have the opposite view, the more popular.
Well, I
view or
don't.
whatever.
I agree with nearly everything on the conservative side. One that sticks out the most, on which I don't agree with, is abortion.
It's the same with me. That's the same with me.
Yeah, I don't agree. With stance on abortion.
Ben Shapiro had the argument that you can treat a baby who's in your body for 9 months like somebody who's in a coma for 9 months. He said, if somebody is in a coma
I
for
don't
9
agree
months,
with that. I don't think they're
neither do I.
apples and oranges.
Let me just explain it. Ben Shapiro said that if somebody's in a coma 9 months with memory loss, should you kill that person or should you wake them up? And then the dumb guy who was arguing with him said, well, I think you should kill that person, which obviously you shouldn't. And then everyone was like, "Oh!" Everyone in the crowd.
Yeah, because he tried to make the point on a kid, but said it in the wrong. He was trying to make his point that he would kill the kid, but he said it about the person in the coma, and then he came across as an asshole.
Yeah,
like what he should have said was, "I wouldn't kill the person in the coma because they have family and they have friends who've grown to be." Like friends with that person, and even that person has grown to be friends with those other people and their personality and everything, and it's completely different with a
even if he's had memory loss, he's a human, he's alive, he's been alive, he's lived life, and he's in a coma, and he can live life again. So that's different situation.
Hold on now, because now you're making the point that he can live life again, and if someone was to come along and say, well, if you just wait the 9 months, a kid can live life for longer.
No. Because the kid it's not a baby when it's a fetus, or you know what I mean? Like, so that's not alive at all yet.
Yeah.
That's a fetus.
But it has its potential to live again. So is a person in a coma. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's different because that person, the coma, has already been living life. It's
I agree with you on that point. But you made the point that person has life to live after. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about purely the point I'm talking about is the legacy the person leaves behind them.
Right.
The friends and the family and the memories. And
I'm gonna put my point down the table. Right?
Okay.
If you're in a coma and it's not looking great for you, the next person in that family can sign away the life of that person, and they can turn off the machines, whatever, blah 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 blah. Your choice. Wanted a baby. That baby, you don't want that baby. You have the right to turn off. Well, metaphorically turn off their support machine. So I mean, you can do.
That's a good point.
And that is a good point. And that's what I'm trying to say. Is like,
but is it?
Well, not even what I'm trying to say.
On a non-legal level, is it morally right? The argument of
morally right. You're not. You're not. I hate when somebody says.
No, okay. I have a stance on abortion.
Okay.
It mightn't be popular with everyone, but this is what I think.
Yeah.
Accident.
What
wasn't planned.
Accident.
Sorry, you're not. You're physically not able to care for this kid.
Yeah.
Whatever. Blah. Gone. Okay. Abortion. All right. That's fair enough.
And then.
But then you have people who, like, young people, and you have the stupid retards who refuse to, protect. Sorry. I can.
Well, he can. He can.
No,
if he wants to, he can.
No, sorry. I'm not using it that way. No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not using it that way. I'm not talking about.
Yeah.
No. You're after taking that out of context.
I
No,
know,
but
I know,
you
I
still
know.
can't use the
No,
word.
but you know what I mean. You can't actually call somebody a retard or whatever
Even if they're not
because
retarded.
people will get offended, even if they're not mentally retarded. You just can't say it.
But you've been
That's just
saying it
how
all
it is.
morning, all evening, even.
Yeah, but not on the podcast.
We didn't say it live. I think I might have called the lad at the start retard now if I look back.
We've
at
said it a
it.
million times.
Anyway,
Yeah,
sure,
but
what?
look,
Anyway, go on.
You know what I mean? You know,
Okay,
this kind of
well, for people who are here, we
Yeah.
don't mean to offend.
But these guys are retards.
But no. I'm not going to even say that. But okay, the stupid people who won't use protection and
Yeah.
are just in it to abuse the system, basically. That's where I draw the line
Right.
of where you should have. Okay, so like you can have a limit.
What was
You
that?
can only do it once. You know.
Okay. Wait, you can only get an abortion once.
Mm.
So you're saying
Under
if you
certain circumstances, like you have the people who are going out there not using protection, getting pregnant. Oh, well, should we just get an abortion like that? And then,
Right.
but then you have people who may have been raped or sexually abused.
Yeah.
That kind of way.
if you got
Like I feel, most certainly, the option is there. You can use it, but the silly people, the people who are relying on the system too much, are the people who should not be allowed to use
A conservative's view, though, on the whole thing isn't about the mistake that the child might be
Yeah.
or anything like that. The conservative's view is on that you shouldn't be allowed to take a life away from a kid just because it's an accident. It should be entitled to a life, but I don't.
because
I
it's
don't
not a
think it
kid
is.
yet. It's not. You have to understand that this is it's nowhere near a baby at this stage. You know what I mean? Like
A conservative will go out in the woods and shoot a fucking buck clean dead, and they won't think twice about it. And then they go and they don't want to let something, or they want to let something live that has never even
that
been
hasn't
seen.
been born.
It hasn't even been
hasn't
seen
born.
at all. No one has
But it
actually
hasn't-
seen the thing
The
ever.
crucial word is that it hasn't been born yet. And when it's not born, it's not a baby. And so therefore, you can't go around saying that we're killing babies because it's not a baby yet. You know what I mean? So, people, what they also don't understand is you're then asking a woman who may have been, let's say a woman's been raped and she's become pregnant because she's been raped. She should be allowed to abort. She should be allowed the option for abortion because she shouldn't have to go through 9 months of pregnancy because she's been raped. You know what I mean? And then even if she doesn't want to keep that baby, even if she wants to give it up for adoption, she shouldn't have to. 9 months. I don't think they understand how hard it is, how hard pregnancy is. It's so easy for Ben Shapiro to come out and say, oh well, everything has a right to life or whatever. But you're talking about somebody having to. For 9 months.
It's not even the 9 months. It's the 9 months plus 18 years it takes to pay for their everything and raise them.
No, but
until they're able to go.
what I'm saying is, let's say somebody gets raped and their plan is to, because they don't want to, because they're not able to get an abortion because it's that they don't believe it's the right thing to do. But they have
take
to.
Ireland, for instance, up until last year when you weren't.
Yeah, exactly. Say you weren't allowed to get an abortion because that's what the people like Ben Shapiro believe. So then you have to go through 9 months of pregnancy, and this is all because you've been raped or you've accidentally become pregnant with somebody you don't even know anymore. And 9 months of pregnancy isn't just walking around with a bump for 9 months. It's a whole new ball game. You know what I mean? It's hard. So it's a huge ask. And someone like Ben Shapiro can't understand. None of us can understand that. You know what I mean? All I know is that it's not as easy as just taking a shit. You know what I mean? It's much more than that.
There are 2 points I have never ever seen made to a conservative. A known conservative, like Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, or Stephen Crowder, that a baby has no one who actually has no personality for people to be attached to yet, and they've never made the point on a mother being raped and actually having to go through having to carry around a kid for 9 months. Sorry.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because they're always just here. Does always work out. They argue with the biggest
retard.
Oh, I was gonna say. They argue with the
biggest fucking
people
snowflake
lads,
on the planet.
I feel like
basically
when we upload this, you know what we should do?
What?
We should quack out all our words.
We can, Chris. You know how much of an ask it is to quack out every single word. We just asking Steve.
Now I have to fucking cut out all of this. You dick.
No,
it's fine. It's fine.
It's quality content.
It is quality content. That's what they want to hear. Anyway, look, it's because think about it, Stephen. You know, and I know. Like when they go to these things, these talks, all the people are going are these lefties who are high on their heads to just be like, oh, I'm gonna get Ben Shapiro, I'm gonna get Jordan Peterson, I'm gonna get Stephen Crowder today. I heard he's down here. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna say this, and he's done, and I'm gonna own them, you know, and then they have no idea what they're actually going into, and then they end out looking like idiots, and they're the ones who always get the microphone. The lads like us, we for the most part agree with a lot of what Ben Shapiro has to say or Jordan Peterson has to say, and we don't really see the need to take up an argument with them, or not only that, but we don't have the opportunity. But people who would have the mindset like us, I'm not saying us in particular, and also there's a lot of confidence to actually pick up a microphone and actually ask that question to somebody like that. You have to not know what you're getting into to have the confidence to actually ask that, if you know what I mean. If that makes sense.
So, that's very true. You have to know that you have to not know that you're about to get shut down, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be delusional enough to think that you're gonna win the argument to put up the argument in the first place, and that's why these stupid people. I even watched. I think you know Dave Rubin. Is that what his name is?
You're right.
I can't remember if it's Dave or Dan Rubin, but it's Dave Rubin or whatever. He I seen this really funny one of him, and everyone there was an idiot. Like everyone who had the microphone. Like there was a girl who every time she was like, I can't even remember what she was arguing about, but he was, saying like he was arguing against her, and then she started saying that she wasn't going to give up the microphone because she didn't feel like giving up the microphone. And then he was like, what's it going to take to give you so that we can have all these other people want to ask questions? Can you please just give it up? Be civil. She's like, no, I'm not going to give it up. And then he's like, it ended out that people started shouting out. He was like, what's it going to take? And then some person in the back goes, I'll give you $20. And then it's like $20. It's like, no, I want more money.
I think was that like a young American something? It's like all the talks that fucking Jesus, young Shapiro. Oh my god. Ben Shapiro does. It's like young American Minds or something like that, and they're like standing in front of this board.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. And then in the middle of all this, there's people shouting out different numbers, and then two black girls stand up and they start shouting like, free speech leads to violence or something like that. Like free speech will always lead to violence, and they kept shouting this. Oh, and I can remember what the other girl's argument was now. She was arguing that free speech, it shouldn't be allowed because it will lead to hate speech. And he said, well, look, that's the reality of it. I don't want people to be mean, but that's why you're the one who, or she was saying that hate speech shouldn't be allowed, but free speech should be allowed. There should be some kind of line drawn. And he said, well, you're the one you want free speech. So you're exercising your right to free speech right now, and I don't want people to be as mean as they are. You don't want people to be mean as they are, but that's just the reality of it, you know. And then he came up with an example, and then she started calling him anti-Semitic because he used an example of something, and it all got taken out of proportion. And those are the kind of people who are asking the questions. Yeah, those are the kind of people who are asking the questions, and that's why nobody brings up these arguments with them. Simple as that.
Right. Fair enough.
Free speech is a whole other ball game as well. Like people who don't want free speech, but that is long. Maybe we can take it in next week. In our country we don't have entirely free speech.
We really don't. Our country, by the way, in case you're wondering, for people who are in foreign areas, don't know much about Ireland and politics. The Irish political
in a bit of a mess at the moment.
Ireland's been in a mess for a long time.
Ireland's okay. So Ireland's government is one of the newer governments, and it nearly got its act together, and then lost it completely, and it's really trying right now. But all the old lads who are from the olden times, where everything was all up in a hames, like all up in an absolute ball of shite, are still in the doll, and they're making half the shite decisions. And there's half people in there talking sense, and then the rest of them don't know what they're at all. That is pretty much the way it is.
Hasn't a fucking clue is on Taoiseach Leo Varadkar not having a fucking clue. And I can say from my farming background that I do have myself, he's an absolute fucking wally. Because Brexit is going to be a big difficulty with Irish farming.
It is.
And he's making it fucking worse.
He is.
He's talking about how, this came up this week, talking about how, we need to reduce our carbon footprint.
Yeah.
And while Irish farming is getting little or no support from anyone in Ireland at the moment, because, I don't know, they're saying that, farms are accounting for all our global warming and all this, and, and with Brexit, 80% of our beef imports or exports are going to England.
Yeah.
We're going to be fucked eventually. And then Taoiseach decides that he's going to stop eating meat. He's going to stop eating Irish meat. And he says this, and everyone fucking tries to kill him.
Physically.
And then all of a sudden, he goes, Oh no, that's not what I meant. I actually had a beef there yesterday. I had a steak there yesterday.
I had a beef. I had a beef. I picked up a beef and I ate it.
I like beef. But yeah, so that's what he done. Sorry. so that's what our Irish government is doing, is basically like when they should be promoting Irish beef, farm. Yeah. To do the fucking opposite of it.
Yeah, but on the other side of the actual political, whole spectrum.
Well, our farming has to do a lot of political stuff in Ireland because it's like our main, it's really one of the main. I don't know what the word is, but it's one of our main
sectors.
Yeah, it's one of our main sectors in Ireland is farming. It's like one of the things we have going for us. So it is pretty
probably the only, and the fact that we've low tax on everything, like everything industrial is low tax, but may not be for anymore because Donald Trump tax is really low because he kind of knows what he's at.
He kind of knows he
knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing economically.
Yeah, kind of. We can't say that he fully knows what he's doing economically.
For the most part.
You know what I mean?
I reckon for the most part, anyway.
He's not like it's not like he has, a lot of people think he has no idea what he's doing, which he doesn't. But with that being said, he's not the world's greatest businessman. You know what I mean? But he does have some idea. He has experience, and so he knows that what he's doing will work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not going terribly. Let's be honest. Like Bill Burr said it pretty fairly back before when it was the election between him and Hillary was happening. He said, "Come on, these guys are both, they're both a bit crazy. And let's be honest, is it really going to change? You're acting like that this is the end of the world. But if Trump becomes president, will it really change anything in your lives? And it really didn't.
No, it didn't.
You know what I mean? It's fine. Just calm down. That's what I say to America. Anyway, back to Ireland.
Theresa May needs to kick up the hole.
What were we talking? What were we led into something? I don't know what we were going to say.
We were talking. What? We're talking about Irish politics.
Yeah, but we were going to say something.
Correctness, or not politically correctness. We were talking about free speech in Ireland, and then
yeah.
Oh yeah.
We What were you going to say anyway about the free speech?
I wasn't saying, it was you who said that we don't completely have free speech in Ireland. Then Chris started going on about the beef. Yeah, and then like you were going to say something else.
Yeah, I was basically saying our government is low they basically they look at what the SJWs are going around screaming on the streets. They're like, oh God, that must be what everyone's looking for. And it's like 10 people who live in Dublin who have never seen any other part of the country ever before get basically the say on anything that happens on social justice, on a social justice level in Ireland. It's basically the one group of fucking feminists running around in Dublin. That dictates the whole country. Because the same thing happened with what was that thing? There was a whole scandal that went on with squatters and stuff, and it was that group of fucking feminists that emerged from their little townhouses, came out with their megaphones, and they just got what they wanted.
I honestly can't remember because it all kind of flew over. But look at this. A lot of people don't know this, but that Ireland have had 2 referendums now. One for, we had a vote, or is referendum the right word for that? I can't even remember. Yeah. We had a vote for, it's all getting a bit confused. It's all getting a bit confused now with Brexit, but we had a vote for a few years ago for if we should allow gay marriage in Ireland, and everyone voted yes, that it should be allowed.
Well, apart from Roscommon, because Roscommon.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It won by a landslide, and I agree with that. Yeah, I think that's and none of us had any problems with that. The abortion law also came to and like that's actually pretty forward moving from Ireland to have to come out and be like, we're gonna let the people choose. You know what I mean? Like, we're actually going to have a public vote where people can choose.
They do that a lot though in our country.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's very much the people's say in a lot of these cases. But,
but when you get the feminists with the megaphone around, that's when it goes.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that it's going to come to a vote for something that. Because, okay, the abortion was the second one, which was yes or no if we should allow abortion in Ireland. And once again, yes, abortion is allowed in Ireland now. And I'm fine with that as well. But I'm worried that it's going to come to there's going to be a decision that it's going to be, a law will be passed that we're not going to be very fond of. And the feminists are going to be the ones who gets it passed. Because feminists have a lot of control in Ireland. We were in Irish class. We had to sit through a feminist documentary in Ireland. It was Vogue Williams, who's an Irish. She's one of the what even is she, a model? Vogue Williams? I think she's a model.
I don't know.
Neither do I, to be honest. I don't know what she identifies as. She hosts a show on RTE where they go to holiday locations and say if they're good or not, and they always say they are good. So that's great. And I think she's.
Oh, that's her. Oh.
Yeah. And I think she's supposed to be a radio DJ, or she was.
Yeah, I think she had like an actual radio, like show, something. She looks really familiar. I don't even know what. She's definitely not a model. I think she's just. I think she's just like what do you call it? Like a character? No, not a character, but like a figure.
A personality.
Yeah, personality. Yeah. I think she's literally just a personality.
I think she used to be a model. I think that was her starting point.
Like,
she's married, or she's going out with somebody famous from England, as far as I'm concerned. Is she going out with like an English rugby player? I don't know.
Besides the point.
Yeah. Look, I just had to watch a feminist documentary with her, and she was
say
hosting
anything?
it. No, but I was sitting beside one of our friends who, you know yourself, he's in my class and he has pretty controversial opinions. Doesn't know exactly everything that he's talking about, but he wasn't too happy about it either. Though when I didn't say anything, I just sat back and I tend to, a lot of the times when stuff comes up in class, I don't say anything because I'm afraid that everyone's going to turn around and think I am the devil child, you know what I mean? Because I don't know if
in our class it's different though, because I feel like the majority of the people in our class would have the same opinion as me, to be honest.
Yeah, you see, the people in my class who just don't have opinions, or else are just going to go with what the public opinion is. And there's only a few people who might actually turn around and say,
but it's not even
hey,
the public opinion. It's the like 5 people from Dublin who think they know everything about America in particular. And they see they see Emma Watson standing up on stage and she says something.
Oh my
like,
god!
Oh my god!
We
and that's pretty much how it goes.
We need to watch that Emma Watson speech in English. I don't have much of a problem with that Emma Watson speech, but she's very much just explaining what discrimination is against people, and that's about it. She doesn't really make any points that are new, you know what I mean, in that speech. But anyway, that we had to watch this Vogue Williams documentary, and she talks for ages like, oh, so you're a fat woman and you're a model and you got bullied. Yeah, people call me fat. No way. Yeah, God, fucking weebs, those feminists need to stick together, you know. And she's saying this to all these people, and then she eventually gets this one girl, a girl who says, she says, so now you don't identify as a feminist. And she goes, no, I don't. And then Vogue Williams is like, well, I can't believe this. I thought every girl should identify as a feminist. And then she said, I think the term feminist has been, you know, like radicalized and it's completely drifted away from what it was. And then our Irish teacher just goes, okay, you know what, this part is important, let's skip this part. And she skipped that part completely. Oh, and I never got to see what that girl's opinion. Yeah, so I never got to figure out what this girl was on about at all. And then we got to another point where a lad was on near the end of the show, and he was saying, he was like, all this stuff about women, and really it's really drifting away from a big problem, which is men's mental health. Like, you need to look at the statistics here. Men's suicide rate is so much higher than women's, and the women are making it seem like their discrimination online and being, you know, abused or whatever, being called ugly is really taken away from a very big problem, which is men's mental health. And the Irish teacher came up and she skipped that part as well. So all she wanted us to do was look at feminists, talk about being feminists. And
why was this going on in Irish class?
I can't remember why she made us watch it. She is a feminist, obviously, but I cannot remember why she made us watch it. It was really out of the blue. She doesn't really walk around saying she's a feminist. She never goes around saying like, now girls or whatever, you know, like, look at this. She's not usually like that. She's usually pretty mellow, but she just decided to that day. And I was really weird and I just hated it. That's just goes to show what we're looking at right now in Ireland. That's the public opinion. That's the majority opinion in Ireland. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, I just find that. I kind
of hope something like that comes up. Like, what I hope.
Yeah.
I hope our Irish teacher.
To be honest, at this point though, that was at the start of the year. If she put something up like that now, I'd come out and say, look, miss, this is kind of stupid, you know.
No, like started year when you weren't like, you know, accustomed to her.
Yeah, or I wasn't accustomed to my class. I didn't know a lot of the people well enough to think like this is like almost, because it's almost a first impression. So it's like, or it's not a first impression, but it's the first time they hear my real opinion, and I'm not sure if they're going to be ready for it. Especially because some people in my class are real SJWs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was that situation. But I find it interesting that we could potentially in Ireland, after Brexit and all that, come with another one of these referendums where it could be a vote on something that could actually really change the game for us. You know what I mean? Like these feminists are rising up. I don't know what they're going to want, but I'm just afraid it's going to be something that's really not going to be, you know, it's really going to be a bit, you know what I mean? I'm just worried. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm worried it might. Like Leo Varadkar, he'll pretty much, he'll agree with whatever anyone's saying. You know what I mean? He's really getting pushed around. And Michael D will sign any document that gets given to him because he's just a nice guy. Oh
my god, we're at BT. Mickey D made a big, long statement on how. Do you remember this, Chris? He made like a big, huge like statement on like how women should be getting involved in the sciences and stuff like that, and how it's not fair. How the lads are doing more in science than the women are, and I was sitting there thinking like, this is fucking ridiculous. This lad is saying how it's not fair that the women aren't in science and the men are, even though it's purely down to interest in between the men and the women. I don't understand what his point is. He was
stopping them.
He was basically giving out that the fucking the men are the men are more interested in the sciences than the women.
But there's nothing stopping them. Like, it's not like it would be different if it was like something. I get a lot of arguments with women when it comes to sports. Like, I watched the Katie Taylor documentary just earlier today. That was on RTE. For those who don't know, Katie Taylor is a world champion Irish boxer, and when she started boxing. Women's amateur boxing, it wasn't in the Olympics, and they had no intentions of putting it in the Olympics because they didn't think that women were good enough at boxing. There was like, men were saying, look, we need to draw the line. Boxing is for men, not for women. Why would we have it in the Olympics? Which obviously I don't agree with, because if you watch Katie Taylor, she's not only she's the best woman boxer, she's the best female boxer in the world right now, and she is actually just hands down as a boxer really entertaining to watch. So that's something I don't agree with. But you can argue all day for a topic like that and say that's not right. But you're saying something like science. There's literally nothing stopping women from getting into it. They just don't show any interest. Yeah. So he has no argument.
It's almost on the same line as the payment gap and how the gap in payment has to do with gender, and it doesn't. It has to do with interest. It has to do with interest in different things that pay more.
I remember seeing a lad on he was arguing with Pierce Brosnan. This was years ago. On the pay gap. And he just said, like, studies have shown that it has to do that people are getting the pay gap doesn't so much have to do with women. It has to do with, I don't even know. He was saying that he found some studies that has to do with how tall you are, and like he was like, tall bald men are getting paid more than small, men with hair. He was like, that's studies are showing that, and he was like, you can look at studies all day. And then Pierce Brosnan said, so hang on a second now. So you're saying that this girl beside me, who's a short woman with lots of hair, she shouldn't be getting paid because she's short and she's a woman, she's lots of hair. It's like, no. I'm just saying that these are the studies. And he didn't speak English, so he wasn't able to say
that.
It
wasn't Pierce Brosnan, that was Piers Morgan.
Was sorry, Pierce
Brosnan is an actor.
I didn't even realize I was saying Pierce Brosnan. I know who Pierce Brosnan is. Pierce Brosnan was James Bond. Yeah. No, Piers Morgan.
Jesus.
Should have looked fairly similar.
Yeah, I remember your man. I remember him. He had like a weird lisp, and he was like, "Boss, that's twist."
Yeah. And then Pierce Brosnan just started bullying him for whatever. Yeah, that's a big thing the feminists like to talk about. It's a wage gap. Not so much anymore, but they really like to talk. I remember when our religion teacher brought it up one time, and I was like, oh God, here we go. And she just started saying, it's a big thing for us girls because we're not getting paid as much. Girls in the same jobs, men just aren't getting paid as much. And I'm like,
I would have been just like, so you're telling me there's a male teacher in this school teaching the same subject as you, but's getting paid more. Like,
they hate, but people like her, they hate when it gets personal.
Oh,
when it gets personal,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, she
did it to me because they got us to do like a presentation on on like anything, like an issue in the world, and I did mine on gender, and she kind of half agreed with me and then tried to shut me down. Like I actually got her to agree with me.
Was that the one in YSI, Stephen?
Yeah, she agreed with me because I brought up this UFC fighter who was transgender and like destroying everyone, and I brought that up, and then she was agreeing with me for that part, and then she kind of, I don't know, whatever happened, and kind of disagreed with me on a certain part. I don't even remember.
That's
I was so nervous saying that as well.
Yeah,
like saying the whole thing.
I was really annoyed because I was ready to. She's really religious, and I was ready to be like, I wanted to come out and be, because I wanted to. What I wanted to say, my argument was, I by the way, I'm not very fond of this teacher. She's been pretty cruel in the past to a lot of people. So I just said to myself, right, I just want to come out and say this and say my opinion. This is what I think. I wrote my speech. I was saying how religion has to do, we have to really look at how people are practicing religions, especially Muslims, and how it has to do with a lot of terrorist attacks that are happening now. And I was saying stuff like this, and I wanted to come up and say the speech, but she read the speech already, like before I could actually say it. She took it and she read it herself, then gave it back to me and told me I had to either do it on something else or completely change the way I looked at, pretty much change my opinion or do it on something else. That's what she told me. So I went off and I slightly changed my opinion, and then she said, okay, well, this is still not really what I was looking at, but you can go out and say it anyway. And I was like, well, there's no real point in saying it now, because I wanted to say it too, because nobody in here is actually going to care. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so it was kind of annoying, but then I just came out, I said the speech, and even the religious people who were in that class, they weren't even there because they were gone at like to Lord's. So that was great. Nobody really cared at all. But still, people told me it was a good speech.
Was the teacher not there when you did the speech?
No, she was there, but I'm saying the religious people in my class.
Oh, I thought you said that she wasn't there though.
No, but she had already read the speech, so it didn't really make a difference when I was saying it out loud.
Yeah.
She basically said that the people who commit those crimes aren't doing it for religion; they're just doing it because they're evil, and they're using religion as an excuse. Yeah.
Now so statement like that is so controversial because you can't actually fucking scan their brain just before they blow something up.
I know, that's the thing, and so I just said the speech. People said to me after, it was like, Adam, that was a good speech. You know, it was worded well. I actually thought it was pretty interesting. I was like, thanks. Because a lot of people's speeches in that class were so boring. It was like, so I think that we should really take a look at how, you know...
cows eat grass.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
That's what Chris did.
But I to off the top of my head, I can't even think.
Mental health.
Yeah. There was a few people did it. Oh yeah, a lot of people did it on homelessness in Ireland, because that seems to be a problem in Ireland. And
I don't think it's as big as a problem as some people might think it
out to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
not as big. Like if you look at like statistics, compare them to like any other country, like to have homelessness as one of the biggest problems in our country and have it be so small is such a huge achievement. That is amazing. Like I think it's really good. There's 10,000 people who are homeless, and I think it's like 3,000 people of which who are kids, and like 10,000 out of what is it now, like 5 million, 5.
I think we're like 4.8 million. I think is what we're at. But I could be wrong with that figure.
Yeah, so to have that number be so small relative to our population, and have that be our most top issue in the country is an achievement.
The thing is, though, I think there are worse issues out there, but then again, you have to take into consideration those are people who are actually identifying as homeless people. A lot of homeless people, see, if you want to go to a shelter, you have to claim, like, say, I am whoever and I am homeless. but and then you can spend the night in a shelter. But you have to do that. So a lot of people don't go to those shelters to spend the night in the streets because they have so much pride or whatever. They don't want to come out and say that they're homeless. You know what I mean? So those figures are coming from people who are actually saying they're homeless. There's still a lot of homeless people out there who are just not actually saying, "Oh, I'm homeless." You know, like.
Yeah, but how many of them? Like, I mean, it couldn't be any more. It couldn't be like double the figures. Like.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it is. It definitely isn't, because every kid out there definitely is like. There's definitely not kids out there who aren't identifying as homeless. You know.
So,
what I
like,
mean?
if there's 10,000 people who are homeless, like, it couldn't be
I'd
like
say maybe
20,000 people who. It is.
Look, it's just
20,000 people though. It still isn't.
It wouldn't even be 20,000. It wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't. Like, it wouldn't even be 20,000, but it would be maybe 15,000, and that's still a small. Okay, if somebody's listening, they're not from Ireland. That figure is going to sound tiny to them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. If you were talking per capita, I'd still think that the figure would look pretty small, but not as small.
Yeah, I know. But okay, it's still a problem, obviously. But it's definitely not as bad as there's people a lot worse off. So I think we're still doing well, and we're actually trying to solve the issue. So, you know, it's going. That's actually going. That's looking positive. It's not looking positive right now. I'm not saying it's positive that there are people homeless, but I'm saying it's going in a positive direction of solving it. You know?
Yeah.
Chris, why are you so sarcastic, you prick?
Yeah, Chris, you coward.
Fucking coward.
But for me, you lagged, and I didn't hear what you said, and I imagined it lagged for all of you, but maybe not.
No, I
Did
heard
it like
it.
you? Oh, all right, okay.
But look,
fair enough then.
On that bombshell, I suppose we'll have to lid on the can.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
That was a really good podcast.
It was, but I had so many topics written down. I didn't talk about any of them.
Well, that means we've more to talk about next week. Hey,
it does.
Wink, wink, nudge,
it
nudge.
Does. So that's grand.
Talking to you, Mister Person listening.
But yeah, no, I think that went pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to give a final.
Look, we'll leave you in old Donald Duck. You know.
Oh yeah, as always.
So, to quote Donald Duck, "Well, slap me silly and call me darling. It's Friday!" Exclamation mark. Smiley face.
Oh, it is Friday.
Oh, it is. Well, it's Friday. It's Friday.
It's Friday for us, and it should be. Well, I mean, not
No,
as of an hour ago, it's not Friday, but for the viewer, oh god, Adam is having some extreme technical difficulties. Just in the nick of time, but look, it should be Friday upon uploading this. So just imagine it is.
Alright guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.